we are going to take you to the Horn of Africa once again, to Eritrea at the Horn of Africa, right on the portal city of Massawa. Here is the Massawa, one of the ancient ports on the Red Sea. It was made and constructed by the Ottoman Empire in 1557. So these two ports here, two islands were made, conquered by the Ottomans, who would like to control the gateway to the Red Sea and that of Indian Ocean, to their adventure up unto to India. So this is when in 1541, Christopher de Gama, the son of Vasco da Gama, who found the way to India through Cape of Good Hope down to South Africa, came here and landed to liberate Ethiopia from a Muslim king, Muhammad Gure, as the Somalis call him, the Ethiopian call him Grai Muhammad, to liberate Ethiopia from this Ahmed Ibrahim al-Ghazi. But the Turks from 1451 up, they reigned over this island for almost 200 years, more than 200 years, and built this inland road. This road is later built by the Italian after they take over the port in February 5, 1885, after discussing with the Ethiopian king, the strong king then. And they came on and landed here. And this city, since being a place of conflict and war, in 1887, the Italians want to go on first to conquer the Highland Plateau. So the Ethiopians came and fought with the Ethiopian general called Ras Alula, and fought here. It was a great war here in Dagole. Yeah, I marked it where, right here. Here's a statue of the great general, the great colonel who died for African colonization right here. He was stopped by this famous Ethiopian general. Yeah, you can see his statue. So the Italian lost the war for this Ethiopian general, Ras Naga, Alula Banaga, and he successfully throws the Italians down back to this port, and he secured eventually the independence of the port. With the agreement with the British recognized the port being at Ethiopian gateway. But later on, the Italian took over completely the port and make it their capital in the conquering of the Horn of Africa. So this city, as you can see, a historical city. Let's zoom in and find some more history before we start our marathon. Marathon is about history and discussing the history of the different. This port city has a lot of interesting Ottoman remnants. In 1990, here you go, you can see a Turkish inn. Let's see, look, it looks like you are in Istanbul when you check this inn. It was built in the 16th century, like I told you. So let's see this. This is a palace of the emperor, destroyed by the military regime, communist regime, Soviet satellite regime of Mengistu Haile Mariam, right now in Zimbabwe in exile. If we zoom out and check the area, we could look. This area has a certain type of raccoon and certain kind of shark. Primitive sharks are found in this area. In case you want to adventure in the sea here, let me show you some of the raccoons, primitive sharks found by, Commandant Crusto in the past in this area. Yeah, you can see, if you want to adventure here, You can see this is Commandant Crusoe when he was really looking inside here. You can look at it by yourself. It's very dangerous here. This beautiful portal city is north up to the Sudanese border, the Red Sea on the north. I showed you some kind of sharks, but it's a beautiful place to be and visit and have some fun. Not going far away. It's not far from Europe. You can visit Massawa. So Massawa passed in the hands of the Italian later before they came up to the Highland Plateau in 1887, the capital city of the Italian colony became Massawa. Since before it was, later on moved to Asmara. We are going to take a road running, a marathon, which is going to be held in this one of ancient port of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire in the late 16th century, their effort to control the gateway to Africa, they came and captured the city of Massawa to go and plunder the riches of Africa, not only slave and humans, but also the treasures, ivory, gold of Africa. The Ottomans adventured down here and hold this city for almost 330 years, 1857 to up until 1870s. So this is the old city of Massawa, the portal city of Massawa. We're going to hold a marathon right now in the old city, just in the outskirts of the old city, right here, in a closed circuit of 3 kilometers, in this hot 45-degree hot Massawa port. Massawa is a city of war and conflict. In 1557, there was a great war between the Ethiopians and the Ottoman Empire, and later never stopped. There always been a conflict. Later, at the fall of the Ottoman Empire, there was a fight between the Egyptians who wanted to take over the ex-colonies of the Ottoman Empire. The Egyptians lost a war with the Ethiopian general Alula Banaga in 1873, in 1876, in Gunde and Gura consecutively, and later in the 19th century, 1887, there was a war fought between the newly adventuring Italians right here in a place called Dogoli. Right here, the Italians tried to conquer the city of Massawa, and went on to conquer Ethiopia. The Ethiopian valiant General Lula Banaga assured by defeating the Italian over the port of Massawa. This defeat marked the stop of the Italian adventure up in the mountain of Abyssinia. But later on, the Italian fought to conquer the rest of the Abyssinia, today's Ethiopia, but lost in 1896 at Adwa. Alula Banaga fought right there also. The famous general defended, he's a defender of Massawa and the region. Today is the portal city. Massawa is a port of the newly independent Eritrea. Right here this city was a city of war and conflict from its beginning. Right here, the city was heavily bombarded before it was liberated by the Eritrean fighters, liberators in 1990 from the hand of the regime of the communist Mengistu Haile Mariam. This is the palace of the Emperor Haile Selassie, the late emperor, bombarded by the communist regime of Mengistu Haile Mariam. You can see this road right here. The Italians built a train which goes down up the hill up unto the capital city, Asmara. In the contrast to Asmara, the city, the portal city of Massawa, has been a place of war and conflict, while Asmara stayed as a oasis of peace and tranquility. Massawa was a place of fire and war and torture. Right here, we will hold a marathon in memory of the city of Massawa, all the troubles it has gone through. So we'll make this marathon, we'll hold this marathon in the day, in the memory of that end of the war in 1990, just 1 year before the fall of the communist regime of Ethiopia. Right here is the port. We'll start our marathon right in this city, in this road. So Massawa is historical for the liberation of Ethiopia from the hands of a communist regime. In 1990, the last war was fought right here, which ended up marked the beginning of the fall of the Derg regime, where Colonel Mengistu Haile Mariam ran away 1 year after this, in 1991, to Zimbabwe, to his friend, and hide there. This is the newly built city by the South Korean for the Eritreans after the independence. Okay, we want you to be with us, and we'll tell you many stories about Massawa. Yeah, we'll be holding our race starting right here, and we'll go all the way here and come back about 14 times. We want you to be with us and learn some of the stories of Massawa, beautiful city, portal city, Ethiopian port for a long time. After the destruction of the southern port of Adolis, this was found to be the new East African port. We invite you to this famous Massawa, the first ever marathon. We hold this marathon with the help of Maison de la Vie, House of Life from Geneva and the local Warsaw Athletic. Here are the young girls. They start the marathon at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's early morning, everybody is sleeping. Already the temperature has gone up almost 27 degrees. When the sun rises up, it will go 30 degrees. These are younger Eritrean girls being trained for the last year. We have told them to go very slowly in the beginning, since Massawa is a very hot area. It is very hot sea level. We have groups of runners according to the level. These are the first group led by Marahawi. So this is the first group. I'm encouraging them, telling them that this is the second group to go slowly because we're gonna get hot. The body temperature will go up to 40 degrees centigrade, and the external temperature will go at the same time high. So it is damaging the brain, and you'll be dehydrated. So we have to be careful not to destroy these young kids. So these are all these are girls 18, 19 years old, very young. The first ever. Here is Mahari. Mahari is from Ethiopia. He's helping us today to organize and be our journalist of the day. Yeah, this is the first group. Yeah, this is the second group, I'm sorry. These are all the girls we took from Asmara. Some of them are kids on the street from poor families. Some of them are from good middle class families. This is the third group led by Asmara. Asmara is a young girl, heavy, but she has a reserve to finish the marathon. Followed by Sanait, Yeah. Everybody is sleeping right now in Massawa. We have a 3-kilometer road race, which they're going to turn 14 times, making 42 kilometers. In this race later on, there will be a cycling race, and we'll have also paracycling, which we have organized, supported by House of Light from Geneva, Maison de la Vie. So these young girls, we send them earlier before it gets too hot, giving them the advantage, like the international marathons in London and everywhere. This is a special day in Massawa. It's a liberation day. They call it Funkel, a day they won the dictatorial regime of Mengistu Haile Mariam was beaten on the fight right here in Massawa in 1990 after the fall of the Iron Curtain, when Mengistu Haile Mariam got no more support. A year after the fall of the Iron Curtain in 1990, the city was liberated. The liberal fighter who liberated Eritrea and Ethiopia. Great fighter, they liberated Massawa, then Addis Ababa, and later on Asmara. Very interesting story. Yeah, here is we organize this race. These are the wheelchairs for the handicaps of war victims. Most of these war victims were who fought in that struggle in the liberation of Massawa. I handpicked them so they can have that, they can heal from that wound, physical wound, mentally by coming and running in this city. So it is our great pleasure, my great pleasure to organize this marathon. These are the third group. They have to go very slowly. The temperature in the morning, it will raise up immediately to 35 degrees centigrade. Right now we are about 27 at 5 o'clock in the morning. The day it will go up to 40 degrees, you will see it. So we will make the first ever desert sea level marathon in Massawa. Massawa, as I told you, is a portal city founded by the Ottoman Turks as a city, but it was known in the Venetian time. In the 14th century, the Venetian merchants of Venice used to sit about the city of Massawa. The Massawa became a port to the Ethiopian or Highland Abyssinian Empire after the fall of Adolis. Adolis was the Aksumite port southern from Massawa, being destroyed by the king of Yodi, Queen Sato. When she destroyed Aksum, she destroyed also the port. So the new state of Zagwe dynasty, supported by the Highlander Hamasin tribe in inland Abyssinia, in Wollo province, Lalibela, you can see Lalibela, Stone Heaven Church. They came and established. Since then, the port has Massawa started known 10th century AD. Then we have the second year, 14th century, Venetian. Then we have 15th century. It was known, the Halak Island was known in 8th century AD. When Islam came, they controlled from 8th century, the Muslim sultans came on the Halak Island, not far from Massawa port. So this is very ancient historical city, but it was a war field in all its history. Yeah. The background music was selected by these young girls in Asmara. Yeah. So these are the third group going very easy and slowly, because we know what's gonna, the girl in front is from Ethiopia. So we have runners from Eritrea, Ethiopia. This is our car, specially prepared for this. You can see our logo, Warsaw Athletic. Warsaw is the club, House of Life in Geneva. In Eritrea, according to the country, we call it Warsaw. Warsaw means inheritance, heritage. While the others are the fighters, Tagadai, this one becomes fighter, This one become Warsaw is the second generation who inherited the struggle. So we gave that name. You can see them on the streets of Asmara constructing roads. We call them Warsaw. They call them Warsaw, meaning those inheritors of the struggle. So these young girls, so we made a club for them. We call it Warsaw, rather than calling it Maison de la Vie or House of Life, according to the language they understand. So this is their club. We stayed in Eritrea over 7 years, and we organized athletes in Eritrea. The beginning of Eritrean mass athletic training. We invested ourselves. This marathon was organized by us. No governmental support, nothing. It is Mulu supporting us. Everything was, the expense was held by us, House of Life, Warsaw Athletic, and Massawa. Here is me giving them water so they can be dehydrated, so they don't get burned out with this heat. The heat right here is going up very hot. We are about 29 degrees. I remember the moment I was passing them the water. It's a long journey because 40 kilometers, 195 meters. This is the first group. I'm telling them also to slow down. Later they can increase slowly by the end of the race. The game is to finish the marathon, not to time, but they will do a good running in the end. So the girls are doing good. So the history of Massawa is a historical event. The road from Massawa to Asmara also is filled of history and adventure. You go up to 2,400 meters to Asmara, while down to Massawa it will come to zero level. We are on the sea level here. It's hot. You are in the equator, in tropics. It gets hot. Anyway, sea level is hot. Massawa is hottest spot. Like Djibouti, Djibouti is more hottest because you're going down. Here is a hot place. So we have organized, the day is coming, the public will raise up and find us running on their streets while they are sleeping. The inhabitants will be surprised and happy. You will see them. Look, this now is the second group, main group and wheelchair will be ready to run. Here you go. The men are getting ready. These all runners are organized and trained by us the last 5 years. So we have uniforms, red and white. I will explain in due process what do they signify, these t-shirts. So now they are ready to start. That is half an hour after the girls' race. It will be at 5:30 we'll start the boys. We have set up the chronometer. I have to tell them to cool down because when they see the boys, they get excited to go faster. So I'm getting them ready now. This is the main group, but they will be divided according to their groups, levels of performance. So the faster group, the first group, the elite, will be in the front. So it's my pleasure we have here 2 paraplegic wheelchair. These are not war victims. They are not war victims. They are students from Asmara, from polio. They are paralyzed from polio from birth. The war victims who are, we let them to go back because we have the runners coming. So they got to open the road to the runners. So she's separated. She's leaving the third group. She left from the first group. She's left over. Now we can start again. The sun is rising up in Massawa. The heat is coming. The light will go off. You can see the population start coming. Sun. Yeah. So this is a conflict city from history. It's a place of war. This port was first recognized by Queen Yodit from Debre Bizan. She was staying in the monastery of today's Debre Bizan. She came down here, destroyed Aksum and made this new port. So the beginning is her, and later on it is the Turks who made it a true port. Right here we're going to start. Yeah, with the red are the elites. race as the elite, they'll go forward. They will be organized not to go fast, because it's going to get hot. Yes, I'm saying it is my pleasure to do this, because being an Ethiopian, organizing a marathon in Massawa after the succession of Eritrea as a first enemy, and making peace one more between our people. The war is a remnant, Eritrea-Ethiopian war is a remnant of scramble for Africa. We are one people, one nation. So Eritrea was federated to Ethiopia in 1952. The consecutive government annulled the federation, and the Eritreans started dissatisfied that they went into war. Here is the race. These young Eritreans, organized, trained by Warsaw Athletic House of Life. I made the first, we were the club, we call ourselves Marathon Club. We had some soldiers, okay, early morning, coming to, to check out the area of security in case. Massawa is a peaceful city in general. So these athletes, we are the only club in Eritrea who organizes marathon. I have trained, running myself with them, and all marathon runners, train them, prepares them for marathon, days in, day out, every day. Now we have organized, we took them to a hotel, we covered the expense of the hotel, we brought 2 buses and ready. Now these are the wheelchair ready for the war victims. They will start after, because they are very fast. The wheelchair of this international wheelchair, they go fast. So we kept them for after. So the girls, this is the first group girls, they're going, start getting faster, the sun start getting up. The heat already arrived about 30 degrees at this hour right there. It's hot, I'm telling you. It's hard to wait with them. A little windy, nice. Yeah, here is the first group, the fast marathon runner. Yeah. The speed, Second group. They will be divided according to the group. So, like I was telling you, the Massawa is full of history, from Turks, from Venetians. Egyptians came in 1880s to fight and conquer Massawa. First, it was given to Egypt it was even governed from Mecca. The Sultan of Mecca was governing Massawa port, and later was given to Egypt by the Ottomans. Yes, they have to go very carefully and slowly, not to burn out. Yeah, here is, we left here Asmara because we organized the same ticket for Asmara because our station is Asmara. So remember Asmara Expo we did, so we kept it here also, just not to make a new one in memory of all that connecting, okay. So the light will go off soon. So this is the historical city, and it was a great fight. In 1990, the city was highly bombarded, daily basis, by the communist regime of Mengistu Haile Mariam. He bombarded the city in daily level. This is not the date we run the marathon. The Asmara Marathon was organized in 2003, but this is Massawa. We kept our logo. That's it. You can see the Asmara Marathon in one of our videos right here in YouTube. Yeah, we have a lot of collaborators coming. The people are waking up. This is the first group. Beautiful city, I'm telling you. If you want to visit, very peaceful. You have to come to Asmara as a tourist, and then you get a permit. And you go down by road. You can come and rent a car, go down to Massawa, in a place called Gergeson. You can stay in the beach, and you'll be happy to come down to the city, eat all kind of nice food. Fish, they have beautiful fish, fresh, not contaminated. Yeah. It's not easy to train athletes, but look, we are seeing the fruit, because the fruit of our work has been seen recently in the result of international course in 2010. One of the runners who was selected by us in Asmara Serejeka won. The first group, this is the second, yeah, the first group is just passed by the boys. This second group, girls, yeah, they are doing good, so nice. Lydia, and behind, yeah. You can see a kind of slums. Here's the brother running there. The student athlete, para-athlete. Yes, these are our two cars. We brought to Asmara for World Athletic. We are waiting to start the wheelchair, war wheelchair. We still didn't start with them. It looks simple when you see it. When you right here, the hard situation, yeah. So you can visit this city of war, a conflict. Like I told you, 1989, 1990, it was weekly, daily basis, Ethiopian Air Force, ordered by Mengistu, the dictator, destroyed his own people, his own city. In 1990, the Eritrean fighter won the war and captured, after a lot of price paid and captured, the port of Massawa out of the dictatorial Mengistu Haile Mariam. You'll see the runners, the wheelchair, para-wheelchair, who fought in this war, really fought here and got wounded. See, something about Eritrean fighters is that when their fighter gets wounded, they don't let them down. They carry them back. While in Ethiopia, recent wars we saw, even the new regime in Ethiopia, you don't even know who is dead in the war. Since 1990, nobody is told where are their brothers, who is the victim, who is dead, or who is alive. Leave alone to bring the wounded one back home. You don't even are not told who is dead, who is alive. While in Eritrea, everybody is told who is dead, and the wounded are carried back. Yes, the city is coming up. You can see the portal city. You can see this is Abraham helping us. He's a driver. He's a lorry driver from Asmara, Massawa. He came to help us from Asmara. This is the group getting ready. Yeah. The group who controls the rounds. You know, you have to count each and every person passes 14 rounds. Nobody cheats. Yeah. Yeah, this is the first group. First group. Leading group. They start increasing. These are guys, the tough guys. This is the second group. Actually, the guy who just passed, who's going to win the marathon from the second group, will win the marathon. He's a guy from Kunama tribe, used to live in a half region, and southern, in the eastern part of Eritrea. Lowlands of Barantu. It's hard too there. Yeah, this is the second group, the respective group. They are going together. That we like. You don't burn out when you are in group. When you are by yourself like this, that is the beginning of the end. The girls are doing good. Some of them start from the last group. Yeah, 2 are holding on. Very good. Eritrea has the potential of marathon runners, but they need to be trained and respected, not to be taken to the army. That is the key. The problem is with the runners in Eritrea, they don't have no support. Second, they are taken to the army. While cycle running, cyclists, footballers, they have a salary, monthly salary. They will only go to the army symbolically 6 months. Like my runners, all of this were taken and never came back. This is what we don't really like about the Sport Commission. Here this race was organized by us, because Sport Commission in the city of Massawa used to organize a funk liberation marathon, like we have videos here. And this year, when we organized it, there was no organization, there was no celebration sportive. We did it with the help of Ingli Muhammad. He is Qali Muhammad. He is the head of Massawa Sport Commissioner, a fighter, and an ex-fighter and commissioner. He really helped us to organize in the city. He got all the permission for us. He got everything. You'll see him in the end. We really appreciate that. Call it in English. Yeah, he's like British, you know. They call him this English. This is, you know, his special name, warrior, fighter name. Yeah, the guy from Karan, the guy who's over there in the front is leading. Karan is leading. Karan is the city outside of Asmara, down to go to Sudan. So Mr. Colonel English helped us. So World Athletics is proud. I am proud also to organize marathon, the first ever marathon in Massawa, the day of liberation, in memory of the liberation and the demise of the communist regime of Mengistu Haile Mariam from power in Ethiopia. The beginning of liberation of Ethiopia. So we'll see later on the fighters who make that thing sure. So this is the city port. You can see the slums on the street side. These are the slums who were left over since their house was being bombarded and destroyed by the Derg regime. These slums is what they built. You can see now. You can see the, you know, the behind the hills, behind coming out in the early morning. This is early morning. Tigris is leading. Yeah. The race. Yeah. Second group, you see they increase the speed now, because the runs are increasing. This is first group, girls, boys second group, coming on. So we organize this independently. It was my pleasure to do it, to bring the wheelchairs, victims of Massawa war, right here for the liberation, for the demise, in memory of the demise of the dictatorial regime of Mengistu Haile Mariam. I lost two of my brothers. Now these fighters are ready to go now. They put in their wheelchairs. It's time for them because they will go. Look, the shamo, the camels of Massawa, beautiful. They came from early morning. They left to bring woods when we started girls' marathon. Their triumph flag is flying. The day of memory of the demise of the dictatorial regime of Mengistu Haile Mariam. We have organized water for them to dehydrate from this heat. Now at this moment the heat is almost 35 degrees. Sooner it will go up to 40 degrees in the day. Yeah, you can see their faces, they're getting tired. They have to slow down. I'm telling them all the time to slow down, not to burn up themselves. We need these guys. This is a great day. Runners from this started representing Eritrea today in different races internationally. Some of them became great runners. Yeah, it was my pleasure to train Eritreans, to bring them to the level of Ethiopia and Eritrea, Ethiopia and Kenya. Lydia and Sanai. Sanai was the light-skinned Sanai. She been deported from Ethiopia, 74, number 74. Deported, a young girl deported by the dictatorial regime of Meles Zenawi, who is practicing ethnic purification like that of, this is Abraham helping, like that of Serbia. One day we hope we'll see him in ICC. Yeah, look at it. This is from Karen lady. Yeah. This is Solomon on the other side. It's a driver, Solomon, and mechanic, expert mechanic who is helping us now to maintain our cars. Good shit. Yeah. Here is the population coming out slowly. They are coming out. Yes, they are surprised. The morning to see all young guys they never saw before. They are 64. Jigana, highly. From Baron to the one I told you about who will win this race. You have to tell in advance anyway because I already knew the result. Yeah. Mamush in red, now is international runner. Yes. Here are the runners. Here are the war victims. Now they start warming up to start the race. Here is Wahatu. Yeah. Here are they. They're going to participate. They're warming up. Yeah. Yeah, understand. Sorry. Yeah. They start carrying cars start coming out. Yeah. They have increased also their speed. They have done almost 2/3 of the race. The girls are almost there. It's 14 rounds of 3 kilometers, which makes 42. And then we have 195 meters. Samra from Ethiopia. She's an Ethiopian who used to live in Eritrea. I think now she's back in Ethiopia. Lydia and Sanai. They will finish the marathon. Slowly, easily, but surely. Yeah, it's a big story about this organization. We have to go to Eritrea to do things like this. Good things, to bring peace somewhere. The Eritreans need now peace, not war and conflict. You understand? So I believe I have put my part on this training these athletes, feeding them, dressing them, doing all what I can do to my capacity to make an athlete. It takes too much to make an athlete. When you make an athlete, you will have a hole in your pocket. You will see only expenses. The result, when it comes to the result, the athletes are glorified, not you. When they lose, it's you who is responsible. If something happens to them, it's you who is responsible. But when they win, it's them, first and second, most of all their country. You know, they have a joke in Eritrea, Teres and I, in 3 years, raised the Eritrean flag, which took them 30 years to raise it in a struggle, they say. You can do it. That brings Eritrea among the peaceful nation. I think races, marathon will bring Eritrea to the world level and among the constellation of nations. Today Eritrea is known as, has been sanctioned as training terrorists and all that. But there is in Eritrea athletes. That's what I want you to see. This is where Eritrea to be about. That's what we have to help Eritrea to do, rather than criticizing in all kind of ways. Eritreans are very sensitive about their country. New country, independent. They have been, since independence, they went to war with Ethiopia. They have been criticized. Yes, they have shortcomings. We know a lot of shortcomings to work, but we have to work with them this level. This is what we have to do with them. We have a controller sitting on the ground there. This is me. For my pleasure, I'm humble to do this. I'm very humble to do this, to organize and make peace between Eritrea. The first step of peaceful coexistence, peaceful loving people together. Again, Eritreans and Ethiopia, one people, one nation, but 2 states. We can be one, but we can be 2 states, but one. We can be like Switzerland, confederative, Switzerland and Liechtenstein. One language, you know, one nation, but 2 states. We can do it if we want to. So we can stop this war. Look at the chameaux, the camels. We call them chameaux in French. Camels. Since I'm a francophone also, je voudrais remercier le Maison de la Vie, qui nous a aidés, qui nous a soutenus pour organiser cette marathon, rare marathon, Massawa. Je vous remercie. Voilà les athlètes habillés, dressés par les habits qui étaient partagés par l'organisation Maison de la Vie de Genève. Voilà. Je voudrais remercier tous les Genevois qui nous ont aidés, comme le Eritrea Running de Zurich qui nous a gracieusement apporté pour les avis des athlètes. Nous ont soutenu. Eritrea Running de Suisse-Irlande. Voilà, les handicapés sont prêts à partir. Massawa, une ville d'histoire, pleine d'histoire. Une ville de guerre d'histoire, comme je vous ai raconté en anglais. Now the war victims are ready, the fighters, the liberators of Massawa, victims of the war, who liberated, who fought them, who brought the demise of the military regime of Mengistu Haile Mariam, who used the Soviet arm to bombard Massawa and the rest of Eritrea and Ethiopia. Many Eritrean young boys and girls died in the streets of Massawa on the fight. I'll put you some videos, you'll see. Now here are the victims. We saw them, they are here. It's a pleasure. Every year we used to take them down and organize a race. Asmara, she separated from her group. Second group. Yeah. This is what we have to do in Eritrea. And the government must let us do this. I think no more marathon in Massawa right now when I'm talking to you. Here's a policeman whom I know who supports me in Asmara. Right, he came to give me a hand here too. I really appreciate it. He told me, continue the good work. Yeah. Here's the guy with the black suit and white t-shirt with the dam and dad, the impaired athlete, great impaired athlete, but he's a great one. From guy from Curran. So our athlete, our war victim athlete, impaired Paralympic chairs. These wheelchairs are especially came from Switzerland with support and soutien of Swiss Paralympic organizations. They are with us, they supported us in different areas. So this wheelchair, expensive wheelchair, I've put with help of Maison de la Vie. Here is Kurukur, she's leading the group of the girl. We call her Kurukur. Afomia. Afomia is from the Asab region of Ethiopia. She's an Afar tribeswoman. She left the first group, she started accelerating. She knew she was born in a hot area in Nazareth. Here starts the first group. The first ever marathon held for the victims, war victims. There is two groups. First group, here is the supporting as the traffic. The wheelchair are two groups, normal wheelchair, Paralympic wheelchair. Yeah, we have to continue to do this. Even if we are not doing it right now, no, someone has to take over and continue doing the same thing we started in Eritrea. This is where we have to be about. Lydia from Kara. Here, he's leading the first group. The great Samuel, the great runner, the great marathon runner. Till to this day, he represents Eritrea in the international race. He's a soldier, we trained him. He started accelerating. Yeah, Samuel. He's followed by the other athletes. Yeah. Yes. So like I told you, this is an important event. Now when the Paralympic joined the trail, the marathon, the thing is changed. Here is Kurukur. Today she is She's in Addis Ababa. She went back her home. She's a great runner, Eritrean marathon runner. We trained her. She went the marathon, this hot 40-degree marathon, and she was ready to participate. We organized for her for a marathon in Geneva. She was not allowed to go by the sport commission. This is the problem in Eritrea. You cannot let your trained athletes to go and participate internationally, because in Eritrea the only those, it's not by merit, it is by relation. The same group is always going to run outside the country. These athletes who won were not permitted to go. So Afomia was frustrated. Once she was supposed to go to India. She's the first ever marathon runner for Eritrea, female marathon runner, Eritrean female marathon runner who was deported from Ethiopia. So Afomia right now she's in Addis Ababa, unfortunately. Anyway, it's both in her country. You can have both nationality, citizenship. We are one and the same people. But she was not allowed to participate in the international marathon. This I will have to raise it up because of the sport. The guys in the federation or sport commission who did, after we have bought the tickets, we reserved hotel, we did everything. We lost the tickets. Most of all, we lost her and Mulu. Both of them had left the country because they were not happy and satisfied. I think coming days will make things, when the government knows this video, I think the guy who is responsible will be found and done the necessary thing. They won. Mulu won at Geneva Asmara Marathon. Kurukul will win this marathon. You'll see what speed in this heart. Already it is now 38 something degrees. No, look, the population start coming up. It's a pleasure for us. All of them come. It will be held later on, a cycle meeting on the same place. That's why we choose this spot. We've done it before. So it's excitement for the city to see early morning when they wake up that a marathon is going on. I'm giving them water, supporting them so they don't get dehydrated and burn out. Yeah, the city came and the city sport commission supported us later on by Colonel English came himself. He's organizing a race on the same place, cycling meeting. So they start talking about us. Our Mahari start using the microphone now. Everybody wake up. We are early. When you are a marathon runner, you got to get up early. Yes. My pleasure to organize it. Yeah. The other wheelchairs who came, war victims who came from Asmara, and some of them living in Massawa, war victims, all of them, it's a pleasure they came for this celebration of the victory against the dictatorial regime of Mengistu Haile Mariam. He left the country for this wicked Meleses and now who divided the country to ethnic regions now. We are going from the worst to from bad to worse. Look at it. Everybody is coming out now. Look, this wheelchair go past in this lowland and flat area. Look, they can fly. That's why we started to put them behind Kurukur or Afomia from Afar region of Ethiopia. Afar Eritrean. She's Eritrean from Afar region of Ethiopia. Yeah, she was deported. And we say this is a world athletic wheelchair and para-wheelchair and road running, it says. For you, I'm translating. Here the population is coming out. On the other side of the street, on the other side is the olden city, Massawa. Yeah, Solomon helping us. Yeah. Yeah, the dignitaries of the city came. My pleasure. When they heard there is a marathon, they came up. We didn't ask them. They came by themselves. We didn't say nobody when we are organized, but the same day, everybody started coming out. Small city, they heard about the marathon. Yeah, this is Angus Home. He won Asmara Marathon, but this time he's running with a normal wheelchair. This is Filfil. He's from Filfil area, on the other road to Massawa, of course. This little Aramaz was red, controlling and writing their number. When some of them pass, she follows them and she takes their number, so that she makes sure they turn 14 times. Great Alma, she's a great runner also today. She's big now, she's running, she's grown up now. Young athlete, she wanted to participate. I told her no because she was just 15 years old. I don't want to burn her up. Somebody from Ethiopia, she's not, she's having a hard time, I understand. Who was stopped that morning. Yeah, he gave up right here. One of the athletes, he stopped. I can understand. I told him to stop because he was not feeling good, I understand. It's a symbolic marathon. We organized. It would have been continued, but it's not continued. Nobody has done it. This is the first. I hope it won't be the last. I hope the government of Eritrea, after this video, take over the situation and correct. Give me a moral. Ibrahim is a fighter. I think he fought in Massawa, I'm not sure, but he's one of the fighters. Everybody came out. Yeah, this is it. One of the head of the wheelchair, wheelchair in Asmara, from Kanyo Station, Denden Station, which we have talked about long in Asmara Marathon. In Asmara, the ex-American base. This city is full of history, I repeat. The city is known in 10th century AD. First Queen of Yodi started the fort here after destroying the fort of Adoli down in the south, Aksumai. This is Ruta and Mihret. So, this is Dahlak, her name is Dahlak, the port. Yeah, they are going past. 10th century. First 8th century, the occupation of the coming of Islam from Sultan Kamen, taken over Dahlak. 10th century, Chuniodi. 14th century, Venetians used to talk about Massawa. 15th century, coming of the Vasco da Gama's son, Christopher da Gama, to fight the Muslim conqueror, ruler of Ethiopia from Somalia, Muhammad Gurey. 16th century, again, the Ottoman Turks coming and taking over Massawa, making it their portal, giving her the present name Massawa in Turks. Now, end of 19th century, occupation of the, ruled by Mecca. In 1880s, were ruled for a Mecca Sultanate from the other side of Saudi Arabia. And then taken over by the Egyptians. Later taken over by the Italians. After taken back by the British, 1941 to 1952, when Eritrea, that was the time the British, as a winner of the Second World War, came and controlled Massawa. And then later on, in 1952, Eritrea was federated to Ethiopia and came back to the ruler, the part of Ethiopian state. 1990, war was fought and the Eritrean fighters liberated the city of Massawa and helped to the destruction of the regime in Addis Ababa. They fought down in Addis Ababa after liberating Massawa, the first sign of the fall of the communist regime in Ethiopia. And in 1991, Eritrea became an independent state. Massawa became the principal port of Eritrea. The second port, Asab, is down to the south. From 1997, 1993, 1997, the Ethiopian and Eritrean government signed a treaty to make a free access of the port of Massawa and Asab between the two states. So the Ethiopians start having a full access on the port of Massawa. But in 97, after the war started in 97, that treaty, the state became dead. And the two countries are fighting still in war, officially in war, even though they signed the Algiers Treaty. They signed, but never, both of them, Ethiopia refused to recognize the little piece of land. The regime in Addis Ababa refused to recognize the little piece of land called Badame, while recognizing the whole country Eritrea to be independent. Right now, with no reason they didn't recognize. So the regime in Addis Ababa has the full responsibility of what happened in Eritrea. With all what's happening today, or for all the days of all the population who has been massacred in wanton war since 1998 to 2002, there was a war, 4-year war. The full responsibility falls on the regime of Addis Ababa. These are victims of, some of them are victims of that war, this recent war. But these 4 athletes are victims of Massawa, or victims. They're not victims. They are heroes, I can say. They are heroes for the liberation of Ethiopia from the hands of Wayane regime. We cannot take them just Eritrean fighters. These are our fighters, all Ethiopian Eritrean fighters who fought, get wounded to get that regime. But the problem started with Meles Zenawi, who took over the city, Ethiopian part of the region, later on. But in history, they have a full responsibility. We can give them a full hero for both Eritrea and Ethiopia. I take them as a hero of liberation of Ethiopia from the hand of a military regime. Whatever happened after responsible falls on the heads of the states of Ethiopia and that of Eritrea. If they have done, they couldn't come to peace and agreement to conquer. The main part of this responsibility fall on the hands of the Ethiopian irredentist regime actually in Addis Ababa, who's doing ethnic purification, who don't want to accept make peace, between the two brotherly nations, sisterly nations. So these are our people from Massawa waiting this. They are so happy to see it. We are coming to the end of the race slowly, but still we have a long way to go to finish because long journey. Marathon, as you know, marathon is long trip. Marathon is the greatest. Ethiopia has the greatest tradition of marathon running since Ababa Bikela. So we brought that tradition to Eritrea rather than war, peace by running. Running will replace rather than fighting. Two nations must come back again to start competing in Massawa. In memory, Angerson, great fighter wounded in the Derg War. Dahalak. I trained Dahalak. Dahalak is orphan. She don't have no family, victim of war. We took her and raised her and trained her the last 7 years. She's right now representing her country. Here is Mamouche. Mamouche. Yes. He's a polio-born handicap. He's a great athlete. Here is Kurukur. Running, she's increasing her speed. Look at her at ease. Here is Mulu. He's another athlete. Both of them. Great athletes. After they won marathons, they were not allowed to leave the country. They were frustrated and left the country at all. You see, the war in Eritrea and Ethiopia has destroyed a lot of people, has displaced millions. It must stop now. It's a time to stop in this generation. We cannot transmit to our kids war, wanton war. It's not just, Alma, our sister. Here is Afomia, a great runner. She's gonna run for Afomia. She loves her. She's Kajanabu's voice even. She's born in Afar area, Nazareth area. She is born in hot region. She knows how to run in hot She's a nomad by birth. Right now she's in Addis Ababa. She's not running. I heard recently. I talked to her. Atomia. Great runner. She was not happy when she was ready to run in Geneva Marathon, when she was not told. She was told last minute after we bought all. She was told she cannot go. Mulu and her. They really was. It took them 2 months to get back. Then the Vanagen Marathon, the Kamahari, you will see it in different videos. When I talk to you about the history, another historical city of the Kamahari coming videos. This thing is from Kara. Yeah. With Caterpillar, we call it Rahawa Caterpillar, the other one. She's the girl from behind. Yeah. Rahawa and Tigris. This is Muse. See? Getting hot, he took the white t-shirt off. Yes, he took almost his clothes off. I understand. Yeah. It's a fact. Yes. We have to continue making athletes, not soldiers. We have to go on making athletes. Athletes are the great soldiers of peace. We have to take younger generation to peace way rather than arms way. Look, the population, young and adults, they are really surprised. These are basically competitors. They came to participate in a race which is going to take place after. Look at them. They really are shocked. They are happy at the same time. See, Eritrea is half Muslim, half Christian. They cohabit in Eritrea for centuries. Look, you can see that Massawa is an ancient Turkish Muslim, but we have Christians also in Massawa. See, all over Eritrea you can see churches and mosques equally. Population is equally distributed in all regions. They cohabit. It's a cohabitation city. So heart is getting, it's almost close to 40 now. Yeah. Eritreans are good cyclists because of the traditions they inherited from colonial past of the Italians. So the Eritreans are ready now to go for the cycling. They're warm enough, we are getting ready to the end of the race. Yeah. Yeah. Mamush, we call him. His name is Mamush. His father is from Ethiopia, his mother from Eritrea, from the Muse Training soldiers who were in Asmara. One people, one nation, we can go to states. We have to work together for that. We have to grow up now. Here's up for me, I have to slow him down, yes, I understand. She had a good distance from the girl. She assured, I told her to cool down. So she's winning. It's not the time, it's the finishing. Like the Greeks say, it's not winning but participating. Taking the history and tradition of Philippines, of marathon, from Athens to Sparta. In the history of the Greek, Hellenic history. I don't like to be called Greek, Helen. Yeah. Yeah, Alma is giving support to me. A little younger, she's now working in a film. She became a film actor right here. Yeah, she finished the marathon. I'm telling you, it's hot now. It's almost 40 now. These are tough young girls. She's just 18 years old. Look at her. Lydia and Sanait on the race is still going on. Yeah. They finished the marathon. They stay till to this day. They became friends. Marathon makes friendship. That's what I told you. Dalak. Her name is like the island. Dalak. Young orphan. But she's great. Young, beautiful girl. She became a great runner now. In Eritrea. Yeah. Yeah, it's my pleasure to organize this peace marathon in memory of our people. who fought, who sacrificed their lives on these streets in Massawa. It was a deadly city, I'm telling you. Bombardment from Soviet planes up, Soviet-given planes by Mengistu Haile Mariam, and daily basis. And then ground fighting, hand-to-hand combat in Massawa. You know, now it's a peaceful city. We have to build peace in the Horn of Africa, in Somalia, in Ethiopia. We need peace. Now it's famine, drought-stricken. How can we have famine every year in Ethiopia? We fought the communist regime to get the famine out. Now the new regime is still, Eritrea is saved from famine right now. Yeah, but now Ethiopia is hit again with famine. Ethiopia is a country of 13 rivers, over 13 lakes. It is a source of water. How can we have drought? The government makes dams in Shebele River. He created dam in Shebele River, Omo River in the south. What happened? Drought. Drought in Somalia is from Shebele River and Omo River down. Directly responsible, Meles Zenawi in power. He's responsible in damming the river. Rather than making peace, we can make a thermal, solar, wind, even though they are expensive, it's worse than making. Still he is menacing to dam the Nile River so he can dry it up completely. So we can have the Chinese damming became, now in China the three gorge dams brought drought and floods. Now he is applying the same system to be water. You telling me I'm bringing politics and running. Running is also politics, peaceful politics. We have to resist rather than fighting and damming water. We need water, yes. We need electricity, yes. But we have to be careful what we're going to send to these are heroes of liberation of Ethiopia and Eritrea. Yeah. Angerson, Jeff, Sivahatu. Yes. Ordinance, Sivahatu. Yes. These are great. We made them a great athletic, and still they have to learn how to use their hands. We brought them a special after later on, international Paralympic champion. We brought to them Pierre Schmidt came from Athens, Olympic champion, to show them how to continue to train to be an international para-athlete. This is what we did in Eritrea. This is what I want you to do in Eritrea. I want the government to help us. The police is helping us to count. That's very good. Yes, that's it. It's a key. Nobody cheats here. The population is watching you. Yeah, he got his arm in his hand, but he is using it as to lean. Now it's a respect. I told the runner not to cut because it's not worth. Because if you cut, we have people controlling every corner. Runners controlling every corner, yes. Yeah. Rahawa. Tigris from Canada. Tigris a little bit tired, Rahawa and Tigris. Oh, they have to go. We have to encourage them to finish. Yeah. I can understand them. They have to work it but finish it. Yes. They have to work it but finish it. We are closer to the finish. They did almost 3 hours of race. Took them 3 hours 30 minutes, except Kurukuru who finished just under 3 hours in this hot. I'm surprised. Look at her. She's doubling this girl. That she's a strong runner. Short, strong, determined. In this hate. There is very strong, short but great, tall in her spirit. It's not your body external. From inside she gets a great spirit. Yeah. Marawi from Ethiopia. We have Ethiopian athletes, you see? Yeah, Ibrahim. Yes. We're getting closer to the end of the marathon. Look, the population is coming out. The city from the old city, from the 2 island cities, from all over the new city where we are making the race. We made the race in the new city because most of the population is right here. So we don't want them to walk as far as that one, the old city. So you can see this is the door to the old city of Massawa, right here when you turn. Yeah. This camera will show you right here. You can take right here the yellow truck, yellow cars will take you to Asmara. Yeah. See, wheelchairs are almost getting together. They catch up almost everybody. Yeah. Jeff. It's a guy. He fought right here. Jeff. Yeah. Dahalak is many. She's getting tired, Dahalak. Sanai and Lydia, she doubles them, but she's Dahalak. Yes, I can understand. You are tested here. You are tested in fire. Yes. She has to get herself. Look at them. They took Lydia is talking easy. Yeah. Sanai from Ethiopia, deported by ethnic purificator, Meleses Zenawi, from her home where she was born, taken one morning early at 5 o'clock, were deported. Yeah, they finished. Yeah, he's finishing, yes. Yeah, they finished, thank you. Finished. The normal wheelchair, normal wheelchair has made, finishing. It's about 1. The normal wheelchair did half marathon. Well, here is finished the marathon, they finished. They finished. Here is dialogue. The marathon is still going for the runner. You see how tough, challenging, testing it is. You be tested like it's like Hawaii Ironman. This is Massawa Ironman. In Hawaii Ironman, it's tough like this, but this is tougher. There is Afomia. Yeah. She will do just under 2:59. She accelerates. I'm surprised how tough she is. She catch up most of the boys who came. Okay, they have a difference with about half an hour, but she didn't let them go. She went with the boys. A victim of war. Mamouche, the Samarian. They recently called me from Norway. He went for competition. Called me up unto Geneva to say, thank you, the professor, Dr. Muslim. There is no race without you. Please come back and train us. Said, they will come. Me or somebody else will do the same spirit which I set up there. Right now we are in another level. Yeah, the great runner, he's from Massawa himself. Here is a runner from Karen. Almost finishing. Yeah, here is Kurukur. Dahalak. Dahalak is always. She's doing good. Almost finishing. We thank you for to watch. We invite you to come and watch. Open your YouTube, our channel, and follow. Give us your comments, critics, and watch the rest. So we have another training marathon, another training time in Massawa. He is the impaired runner. He finished good. Yeah, he's impaired, like I told you. He can't hear, he can't talk. Damn that, unfortunately, I have to say. Yeah. We trained him. He's a shoe shiner in Asmara. No, the other is a shoe shiner. He's a cycle technician. He fixes your cycle. He helps us also to fix the cycle of the handicap war victims' cycle. Yeah. This is from Karan. Yeah. No, he is from Asmara. Later he became cross-country runner. Great one. Yeah. Emmanuel, the great, became a great runner of cross country. His first ever marathon. He's a fast runner. He's tired, I understand. Yeah. She ran almost a marathon, I can say Alma. She was organizing, giving them water, running, biking. Yes. Some of them start walking, I understand. Lydia and Sanai, tough. They did a great job. Yes. Great runner, military runner. Number 10, we trained him. Great one. Yes, he's doing a good job. He became a great runner right now for Eritrea and Marathon. This was his baptism. He was baptized. The first, you have to be baptized once. The first marathon is always tough. But when you do your first marathon in such condition, it's tougher. Tonight they will relax, swim next day, and we'll take them to relax. There is good, beautiful clubs in Massawa. They will dance. We have all kind of videos where we're just telling you what they did. These are great athletes. Lydia is getting tired. Yeah. They help each other to go. Yeah. The other girl, yeah, she's tired. Yes, I know, I understand. Since I've been running the last 40 years, I know what marathon is. But I want to give my part of my share to the people of the Horn of Africa, the people of Ethiopia and Eritrea, for peace, for coexistence. I contributed this video and this way. That's what was in my mind every minute. When I see it right now, I live back again my pains, Rather than talking, we have to go and do this kind of exercise to help us out. Every time I run, I remember what we did in Massawa. They remember what they did in Massawa. They have a dog fighting, street fighting. These are brothers and sisters here in Massawa. Yeah. We're coming close to the end. You see, these are here is Jigana, he's winning, he won. Here, Kurukur. Look at her speed. She doesn't look like she runs a marathon. Look at English, Colonel English, they're great. He really encouraged us, helped us, supported our club. What athletics. A great fighter, a respectable fighter. Yeah. She looked like she didn't run the race. Yeah, she's first. We are asking the cameraman to register this for live, to describe it. She said, we asked her, she was good, look at it. I'm very happy, she said. Really appreciate it. She's young, but later, she said, she's a kind of target. The population around here brought out money and started giving her prizes. I'm surprised. We collected a lot of nakfas for her. In the end, we almost collected about 3,000-4,000 nakfas for them. The population started contributing for her. We have organized the race. We brought her. We did everything. But the population became partner in Massawa. People of Massawa, they love sports. This is a rare occasion. It doesn't happen since liberation, this kind of marathon. She's tired. We need to let her. Here is Dahalak. She finished second. Young Dahalak. We're almost finishing. We thank you for all the let's finish wheelchair. We thank you, the wheelchair. We thank you, Colonel English, for helping us to organize. We thank you, everybody. Dahalak, yeah. She's now a good runner in Massawa. Tough Dahalak. She finished, yeah. Yes. Yes. So we made a show. This is very re-registered. Just showing you the registration back. As the boys, the guy he won Jigana from Kunama tribe. Haile Jigana. He's from Kunama tribe. Yeah. They asked English to give somebody they asked the population. Yeah. He's the official. We asked the official to be. We finish. We thank you. Thank you for this special day. Finish it beautifully. Yeah, this is the end of the game. Yeah, biggest. Finished second. Of course, the difference of about 20 minutes difference between two. Yeah, that was good. I'm cutting some of them to show it to you. She passed some of the boys. Yeah. Yeah, we still have some runners coming. We have to stop this run. Just as far. Yeah. He finished second for the boys. You can see her from here, Kurukura, how far she went. Even though she has half an hour difference for the girls' race. Yeah, he did good. He did 2:14 this hit. Yes. First one did about 2:37. That was good in this heat. We started slow anyway. Thank you very much. Later on, he became second in MLV Marathon. We finished. We thank you, everybody. We thank you. We thank you, yes. We thank you, yes. We invite you to the next MLV Marathon this year. MLV is a city 42 kilometers from Massawa. That is another liberation marathon. The fighter from the MLV who fought the Derg soldiers in the MLV. That's another city. You know the whole history of Eritrean struggle and Ethiopian pain in this series of videos. Last runners are coming in. Thank you. Thank you, House of Life. On remercie mes collègues ingénieurs, tous nos collaborateurs ingénieurs, tous les restes qui nous ont soutenus. Voilà, Ruta, les restes qui sont participés ici, nous aident. Donc, vous remercie. Le gouvernement, le peuple d'Eritrea à l'époque nous ont aidés. Mais on peut réaliser cette course Massawa. Sans la permission, on n'aurait pas fait. Sans la permission de création, on n'aurait pas fait. Nous remercions. We ask you to follow our club in different ways. Thank you. To finish our Massawa Marathon with this young Eritrean comedian who is thinking about her childhood, that she was taken to war, the dilemma of war, before even finishing her childhood, taken to the fight, the struggle of liberation. She's crying, saying that we have finished my young. She never had a chance to be young. She was taken from her childhood while other kids all over the world enjoy their childhood. She's crying how she was taken early morning from her childhood, taken. We gave this song as our theme of our Massawa Marathon. We thank you for being with us all this marathon and being over 1.5 hours. The marathon took 3.5, almost 4 hours, but we have cut it down to pieces. So she's crying how she lost her childhood. She never had a chance to play like a baby. So we thank her to animate our Massawa Marathon. Thank you very much.